Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat. Thank you so much for watching. Today I am doing my December wrap-up. So December had two main things in it. The Bias Breaker Readathon, which I hosted with 8 other lovely co-hosts. So some of the books I read for that, and then the rest are books that I had picked up throughout the year and for whatever reason put them down. And I said, okay, we're moving in 3 days now. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to give them one more chance. And if I don't read them, then I'm going to donate them because clearly, I don't want to move books I'm not going to read. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start things off with African Psycho by Alain Mabanckou, who is from Congo. So this was originally French and translated, so it had so many things going for it, ticking all my boxes. So we are following an aspiring serial killer who wants to train under and be as famous as a famous serial killer that he really admires. I really hated this so much. I think I gave it 2 stars. In my review of it on Goodreads, which my Goodreads is always linked down below, I said it's like an Annette Patrick Bateman from American Psycho plus an adult Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye. And I was talking to one of my friends and she said, oh my god, that sounds amazing. I love Catcher and I love American Psycho. And I was like, I will bring it to you because if you know anything about me, I hate those books. I hate both those books. So this was never going to work for me, but if you like those books, maybe it would work for you. Next up is Borderliners by Peter Hoeg. This is a Danish translation from Denmark. There is an orphanage of children or a school which is mixing children of all different intellectual abilities and that they can integrate into the whole and be like a successful community, kind of. But the people that we are following are the students, and they believe that the school is messing with time. But for me, ultimately, I found the premise really lacking. I just found it to be odd, and I don't think it successfully accomplished the theory that it was putting forward. It's just altogether very confusing. I don't really recommend this one at all. I don't know why it was really so popular, and I gave it 2.5 stars. Next up is the last book that I read in 2020. I finished it this morning. This is His Bloody Project by Graeme, Macrae, Burnet. It's historical nonfiction fiction, if that makes sense. So the author completely fictionalized all of these documents from the 1800s of this triple murder case where a crofter's son went in and brutally murdered a 3-year-old boy, a 15-year-old girl, and their father. The first 2/3 of this is the villain's account of what led up to his actions. He's writing it in his jail cell. And then the rest of the novel is the court case and the verdict. And it just gave me such similar feelings to Burial Rite by Hannah Kent. It's very cold, it's very desolate. They're kind of nestled next to the Isle of Skye. So the juxtaposition is that the landscape is so beautiful and stunning, but the people that are living there are treated so horribly, and the tiniest little things really matter to their livelihood, but the people that are stationed above them and are tasked with basically making sure that they have enough to live on their land, just really don't care about them at all. So there's gross misjustices that happen, and no one can help these people. So you're left wondering if the boy's actions of the killing of the 3 people, is it justified? Can we trust what he's saying? Who is ultimately at fault? Was he insane? There's so many things to go through in here that even now, having just finished it, I'm not exactly sure how I feel if I would have given him the guilty or non-guilty verdict. So if you like slow burn crime, psychological thrillers, or historical fictions, then this would be for you to check out. I really think that people who liked Burial Rites would really like this one. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Burnet is a Scottish writer, and this takes place in the Scottish Highlands. Next up is another one that I read for Bias Breaker. This is The Pisces by Melissa Broder, and I think I gave this 3.5 or 4 stars. So this one is following a woman who just had a breakup after 6 years and she just needs to get her life together. So she agrees to house and pet sit for her sister who's going on vacation, and the house is on this beach. And as she is going to group therapy to deal with ramifications of the breakup and also her depression and anxiety, she meets a night swimmer. And it's not a secret that the night swimmer is a merman, and things go from there. So I found this oddly entrancing. I read through it really quickly, and I really didn't agree with most of the things that the main character did. Like, she did some truly awful things, but it must be said that she was really struggling with her mental state and just being disassociated from events around her. So you're not really sure if the merman is real or if he is just like a metaphor or a figment of her imagination. Either way, I thought that the merman part was oddly brilliant, like, and it's not even really about the merman, but I thought that it was just, it oddly sucked me in, and this is definitely one that I'm going to remember for a long time. Now we are into my 4-star reads. First up is Earthlings by Sayaka Murata, a Japanese writer. So this one was the group book pick for Bias Breaker, and we are following Natsuki, who is a young girl, and she's in a family that really treats her just terribly, and as a coping mechanism, she kind of alienates herself from them by believing that she is an alien. So she thinks that she's from another planet, and that's why she doesn't understand people and they don't understand her. And also in childhood, when she is visiting her grandmother's house in the countryside, she is spending a lot of time with her cousin Yu, and he's the only one that really gets her. And then we fast forward to the present when she is an adult and married. And so the 3 kind of main characters in this are Natsuki, her husband, who also lives outside of society, and Yu, who is struggling to conform within society. So this book raises a lot of really good discussion points about people's place in society, especially in places that are so kind of rigid as Japan. And I think a lot of people will be surprised by this book because Convenience Store Woman had these same themes, but was not as dark as this book. This book has so many triggers. Definitely check out the Goodreads reviews for triggers if you are sensitive, because this book went on the same thematic kind of trajectory as Convenience Store Woman, but it just went like ultra dark, black hole, weird and dark. So I personally could not put this book down. I thought it was highly readable, but it's certainly not going to be for everyone, and I think that I will from now on read whatever Murata writes because her imagination is just bizarre, and of course I love bizarre books, dark books, weird books, so this one really was fascinating for me to sink my teeth into. The second to last book I want to talk about is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. So this was one I picked up earlier in November because this was recommended for Scorpios, and I finished it in December. To be honest, I liked this book a lot. I gave it 4 stars. I absolutely really appreciated the main character. Well, there's 2 main characters. There's the husband and the wife is the one that I'm talking about. She is so clever and so vindictive, and she is going to take her revenge and make sure that she teaches a lesson. So I definitely understand why this is recommended for Scorpios. I did quite applaud her forethought. Like, she planned her revenge for a year. I'm not going to tell you what this is about because, like, if you don't know what Gone Girl is, then I can't help you. I don't know where you live, like under the sea maybe. But yeah, this was really good. I read it all the way through, and now I'm sad to say that I've read all of the big books from Gillian Flynn, and I enjoyed all of them. I like her writing style. She's very fast-paced and very smart with her plot twists. And the last one I want to talk about is Troll, a Love Story by Johanna Sinisalo. So this one I gave 4.5 stars. I thought it was brilliant and weird and funny and dark. So this is following Angel, who is a gay photographer in Finland, and he stumbles home one night and he sees teenagers kicking the crap out of a little animal, and he shoos them away and grabs the animal and goes up to his apartment, and then he realizes that it is an adolescent woodland troll. And from there, the story diverges into two paths. One path is Angel with the troll, and the other path is interspersions of Finnish troll lore and literature, which is so interesting. So weird and interesting. I didn't know I was interested in that kind of thing, and apparently I am. So sorry, don't let my yawns fool you. I'm very interested in this book. It's just, we're moving, so late nights, early mornings. Anyway, this was great. I couldn't put it down. I read it, I think, in 1 or 2 days. And it also talks a lot about the advertising and art scene in Finland, queer culture, subculture, and also deforestation and global warming, especially in Finland. It was just all around so odd and so seductive, like, of a read that I just loved it, honestly. I've read something else by Sinisalo, which was also brilliant, called The Core of the Sun. And I really want to get my hands on Blood of Angels, I think, which is another one. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Sinisalo. If you like Finnish new weird, I highly recommend her. She's brilliant. So that finishes up my December wrap up. I am so happy with my reading this year. I think I did really well. In terms of like stats and stuff, you'll see that video coming soon. I also have videos coming about diverse 2021 readathons, as well as my Christmas haul, as well as my moving unhaul. With that being said, I hope you are having a lovely day. I can't wait to bid 2020 fucking adieu and never see it again. And I will see you in 2021. Bye.